Hey everybody, how you doing? Why'd I ask that question? I can't hear you. I don't know how you're doing. Yeah, hi, I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm not doing so good. I just ask a question sometimes just to ask. But I do actually have a question for you. Right now in America, we have a real big problem. We have people talking about guns. Guns are bad. Guns are good. We need guns. We don't need no guns. Get them guns out of here. Y'all got to get them guns in here. There's all kinds of people arguing about guns right now. Huge problem. Especially when you consider the history of our country. Right now, we can look at a couple of examples to kind of make my point. Let's look at Chicago. It's the hometown of the President of the United States, and the guy that ran his campaign, his chief of staff, Rahm Emanuel, well, he is now the mayor. And I can't blame him for everything because he just became the mayor. But both Rahm and Obama, this is their hometown. It's the murder capital of America. More murders in Chicago, Illinois than any other city in America. Fact. I'm sorry. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Especially if you live in Chicago. Hey, go Bears! But make sure you wear a bulletproof vest to the game. Here's the funny thing. It's illegal to get a gun in Chicago. You can't go out and buy a gun on the corner of Chicago. Wait a minute. Yeah, you can go get a gun on a corner in Chicago. If you're a criminal, you can get a gun anywhere in Chicago. How do I know? Because they're killing each other with guns. There's no, hey, last night there's a murder on 5th Street where a guy took a zip gun and shot a pebble at something. Now, he didn't use no slingshot. They're killing each other with guns. They've made it illegal and hard and impossible to get a gun in Chicago for everyone except the criminals. Now, here's the problem. Let's look at the West, the old wild, wild West in America's history, and say, Tombstone. You all remember the movie with Kurt Russell, Tombstone, where he's the bad sheriff, he's a bad man, and he's got his fella, Doc Holliday. Remember the guy? He says, I'm your Huckleberry. I love that movie. But anyway, I digress. So, when Tombstone became a town, it started off with a few people, and then it grew, and then it became somewhat wealthy because of, I guess it was gold or whatever the money, however the money came in. And criminals started to come into town and take over the town and be really bad and shoot the guns in the air. And it was unsafe for people to walk in the streets at night and the day, kind of like Chicago is now. But anyway, so what they did is they got this sheriff, Wyatt Earp, and he brought in his brothers, Morgan and Virgil. And they came in there and they said, from now on, the only people allowed to have guns in this city are us. Now that sounds like what Chicago tried to do. Only the policemen can have guns. Here's the problem. If you carried a gun, you went to jail. If you didn't give up your gun, Wyatt Earp and his brothers would shoot you down. That's what the OK Corral was about. Guys were carrying guns, didn't want to give up their guns. That's how it started. But think about this. If you stole somebody's horse, they hung you. If you stole somebody's, food, you went to prison. You see, the laws were harsh. You broke the law, you paid the price. But little Johnny is only 15 and he stole a horse. Well, little Johnny got to hang. Now, you see, the laws were strict and the penalties were harsh. And so people feared the law and they feared the penalty even more. And so they agreed, you know what, we won't carry these guns and we'll act civilized. And we'll become a civilized nation. A nation of laws. Sounds nice, doesn't it? Here's the problem again. We're a nation of laws. As long as we can be nice. As long as we can be gentle. We don't want to be too harsh. We don't want to send people to jail. No. Lock a guy up for 20 years for smoking a marijuana cigarette, but if he beats somebody up, well, little Johnny's got counseling and he needs to be helped. We've made the policemen counselors. We've told them, listen, this guy can run from you, shoot at you, beat you up, kill 12 of your guys, and when you catch him, don't you hit him. You be nice to him, and don't you violate his person. Otherwise, you're a racist. Otherwise, you're evil. Otherwise, you're mean. And we've gutted the authority. So now you have a violent society. You have a society that is running rampant with people who have no respect for the law and no fear of the penalty. So you tell me, do you want those guys having the guns? It sounds like we need to do what the Wild Wild West did. We either need to give everybody a Colt 45, which I know sounds ridiculous. Yes, that's crazy. But think about it. You know, they say, there's a saying, God made all men equal. Yeah. Actually, Samuel Colt made all men equal. Now, we can either arm everybody, or we can give the law a second look and start saying to people, you break the law, you do the time. We can start having respect for the police officers of this country. We can start supporting the police officers. We can start supporting the police department. We can start saying, you know what? Catch that criminal. Lock his ass up. I'm sorry if he's my son. The bottom line is, if you want a civil society, then you need civilized people. And if people are going to act uncivilized, there's not a whole lot of ways you can deal with that. You either force them to be civilized, you lock them away, or you let them fight amongst themselves until there's none of them left. Chicago, right now, they're fighting themselves and they're killing each other by the hundreds. So, President Obama, I admire what you want to do. But perhaps you should listen to the old adage they say to doctors. Remember doctors, your own doctors? Physician, heal thyself. President Obama, if your own hometown and your own chief of staff is the murder capital of the country, and it's illegal for citizens like myself to go and buy a gun, then how are you going to protect citizens like myself? You're not doing a very good job. Have a good day. Hope you like my clip. If you do, send me a friend request on Facebook, if you can find me. I'm Jerry Figueroa. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.